You know what's funny about building an empire? Nobody tells you what it costs. I'm 79 years old, and I'm sitting in a 12,000 square foot house right now. Marble floors, Italian furniture, a view of the ocean that most people only see in magazines. And I am completely, utterly alone. Not lonely in the poetic way. Not, oh, I need a hobby lonely. I mean the kind of alone where your phone doesn't ring for days, where the only voices you hear belong to the housekeeper and the gardener, where Christmas morning is just another Tuesday. I built a $200 million company. I was on magazine covers. I shook hands with senators and CEOs. People used to say my name with respect, with envy, and my daughter didn't invite me to her wedding. Let that sink in. My own flesh and blood walked down the aisle and I wasn't there. I found out 3 weeks later from a colleague. He showed me the photos on his phone, said, "Beautiful ceremony, wasn't it?" I didn't even know it had happened. That was 2 years ago. I was 77, and that single moment destroyed every lie I had ever told myself about what success means. I need to tell you something, and I need you to really hear it, because if you're chasing what I chased, you're heading exactly where I ended up, nowhere. Let me take you back. I was 24 when I started my first business, a small logistics company, nothing fancy, just me, a desk, and a phone. I was hungry, desperate. I came from nothing. My father worked in a factory his whole life, and I watched that job eat him alive. I swore I'd never end up like him, so I worked. God, did I work 16-hour days, 7 days a week. I missed dinners, missed birthdays, missed holidays, but I told myself it was temporary. I said, when I hit my first million, I'll slow down. I hit my first million at 31. I didn't slow down. I said, when the company is stable, then I'll be present. The company stabilized at 38. I wasn't present. My wife, Karen, she tried. She really tried. She'd leave notes on my desk. Sophie has a recital tonight. Please come. I'd read them. I'd mean to go. And then a client would call, or a deal would surface, and I'd think, there'll be other recitals. There weren't, or maybe there were. I just wasn't at any of them. Sophie grew up in that big house with everything money could buy. Private schools, vacations, the best clothes, but she didn't have a father. She had a signature on a check. Karen divorced me when I was 52. I barely noticed. I was in the middle of an acquisition. I signed the divorce papers between conference calls, my own divorce, between conference calls. Sophie was 26 then. She moved out with her mother. She called me once a month for a while, then every few months, then holidays only, then nothing. And I let it happen because I was busy, because the company needed me, because I thought there would always be time to fix it later. Here's the biggest lie you're telling yourself right now. I have time. You don't. I told myself that for 52 years of later, 52 years of when things calmed down, 52 years of choosing the office over everything that actually mattered. Things never calmed down. The goalposts keep moving. First it's the first million, then it's the expansion, then it's the IPO, then it's the next acquisition. Then you're 77 and your daughter is married and you weren't there. You think success will fill you up. It won't. It's a hole that gets deeper the more you pour into it. I had the career, I had the money, I had the reputation, but I didn't have my daughter. I didn't have my wife. I didn't have a single real friend. Success without love isn't success. It's a prison with nice furniture. Let me tell you about my business partner, Richard. Richard was just like me, maybe worse. He lived in the office, slept there some nights. He used to say, "Rest is for people without vision." He died at his desk, literally, heart attack at 61. They found him slumped over his keyboard on a Sunday morning. Nobody even knew he was there. You know what happened to his company after he died? They replaced him in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 40 years of sacrifice, gone, forgotten. The company didn't even pause. At his funeral, his son stood up and said something I'll never forget. My father was a brilliant man, but I barely knew him. I sat in that church and felt nothing. No warning bells, no wake-up call. I just thought, at least I'm still here. At least I still have time. That was 18 years ago. I didn't have time. I just had more rope to hang myself with. Is that the legacy you want? You know what keeps me up at night? Sophie's first day of school. I wasn't there. Karen took the photo alone. The father-daughter dance at her high school. She went with her uncle, her college graduation. I was in Tokyo closing a deal, the day she needed me most, when her first boyfriend broke her heart, and she called the house, and I wasn't home. I was never home. I have a granddaughter now. She's 4. Her name is Lily. I've seen her twice, in photos. 2 years ago, after I found out about the wedding, something broke inside me, not my heart. That had been breaking slowly for decades, something deeper, something structural, like the foundation of everything I believed just cracked wide open. I sat in my office that night, surrounded by awards, plaques, framed magazine covers, a lifetime of achievement staring back at me from the walls, and I felt nothing. No, worse than nothing. I felt shame. I picked up my phone and called Sophie. It rang 6 times and went to voicemail. Her voice so distant, so formal. Leave a message. I couldn't speak. I just sat there breathing into the phone like a fool. Then I hung up. I called again the next day. Same thing. And the next day. And the next. She finally answered on the 11th day. You know what she said? What do you want, Dad? Not hi, Dad, not how are you? Just what do you want? Like I was a salesman, like I was a stranger interrupting her evening. And honestly, she was right. That's exactly what I was. A stranger who shared her DNA and nothing else. I said, I heard you got married. I'm sorry I wasn't there. Silence. Then she said something that will haunt me until I die. You were never there. Why would my wedding be any different? She hung up. After that call, I made changes, big ones. I stepped down from the company, sold my shares, gave most of the money away. Not because I'm generous, because I finally understood that money was the poison I'd been drinking for 52 years. I started writing Sophie letters, real letters, handwritten every single week. I told her about my childhood, about her mother, about how proud I was of her, about every single thing I should have said decades ago. She didn't respond for 8 months. Then one day, a short email, 3 words. I got them, 3 words, and I cried like a child. We've spoken twice on the phone since then, short conversations, careful, like 2 people walking on thin ice. She doesn't trust me. Why would she? But I'm trying. At 79, I am finally trying. I'm happier now, with almost nothing, than I was at 50 with everything. Isn't that something? Isn't that the saddest, most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? So let me talk to you now, directly, honestly. If you died tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the life you've lived? Not your resume, not your bank account, not the title on your business card. Would you be satisfied? Would the people you love say you showed up for them? Or would they say what Sophie said to me? You were never there. I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, that won't happen to me. I'm different. I balance things. No, you don't. If your first thought every morning is work, you don't balance anything. If your phone is in your hand at the dinner table, you're not present. If you've said not now to your child more than twice this week, you're already on my path, don't you see? The career will replace you. The company will move on. The clients will find someone else, but your daughter, your son, your spouse, they won't wait forever. They'll stop asking. And that silence is the loudest sound you'll ever hear. If I could sit down with my 24-year-old self, here's exactly what I'd say. Stop. Stop working weekends like the world will end. Stop treating your family like they'll always be there. Stop believing money equals meaning. Stop missing recitals and birthdays and ordinary Tuesday dinners. Stop choosing clients over your own child. Start going home on time. Start putting the phone down. Start asking your daughter about her day and actually listening. Start being the man your family needs, not the man the boardroom applauds. Start now, not Monday, not next quarter, now. If you want to build something meaningful, build a relationship. If you want a legacy worth leaving, leave love, not a company. Love. I'm 79. I wasted 52 years chasing a number, a meaningless, empty number, and the only thing I have to show for it is a big house full of silence. But these last 2 years, these 2 painful, terrifying, beautiful years of trying to rebuild what I destroyed, they've meant more than every deal I ever closed. The irony is devastating. When you realize time is almost gone, you finally learn how to use it. Don't take 52 years to learn what I'm telling you in 15 minutes. Your family is not a backup plan. They are the plan. You have a choice right now, today. Keep grinding, keep chasing, keep telling yourself you'll make time later. Or put this down, walk into the next room and hold someone you love. The clock is ticking. It always was. Someday is today. It always has been. If this story hit you somewhere deep, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe because I have more truths to tell and honestly not much time left to tell them. Leave a comment. Tell me what you're going to change. I read every single one. Your time is precious. Thank you for spending it with me.